every day and night.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard. That's L-E-N-A-R-D. It looks French. It's not. It's Leonard without an O. Thank you for tuning in. As Graham Norton used to say on his show, let's get on with the show! Hello, everyone. A special introductory segment before getting into the episode. The remainder of December. Merry Christmas to all. And since I'll be using this opening through the rest of December, 2 a week now, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the rest of December, as well as January and February. Let's get on with an interview. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Constitutionalist Podcast. Going to join me today is Charles Matthews, No Limits Church International. So,
yes, sir.
I'm going to have a whole lot to say. But welcome to the show, Charles. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm great to be here. Thank you.
Where were you born and raised, and where are you now? Any significant places you've been in between, that sort of thing?
I was raised here in Tidewater, Virginia, city called Portsmouth, Virginia. Raised downtown Portsmouth, actually. And I will say that I was raised in one of the most how can I say kind of challenging projects in the country, and I had a very tough background, and all I can say is by the grace of God, I'm here now and doing great. Been through a whole lot, and God blessed me to see the other side of that. And so just being here with you tonight is just proof positive that God's grace is more than enough to get you out of anything that you can go through in your life. So yeah, it's great to be here.
My audience knows I can't resist the lame puns and the wordplay and that. So maybe cover the kids' ears. I guess this will be a PG-13 episode because I got a joke from the Portsmouth as opposed to the Porch anus. For the benefit of the transcript, we're laughing. It's a joke, people. Can we relax? I know that's a bit of a crude bad pun, but I can't pass.
Right.
No Limits Church. I had conversations with other couple people today, interaction on social media the other day. Someone said he's leaving, the more traditional structured religious churches to kind of form his own thing, which I'm sorry, in my opinion, is kind of cultish. And as Dennis Quaid says, I don't know if you've ever heard him coin the term churchianity, right? A whole lot of churches. A building with a steeple does not automatically make it a Church of Christ. And that's what that person was indicating. And I had others join in on me after he mentioned it too. Is like they just want the kumbaya Jesus, leave out all the tough love parts of the Bible. The tough love parts are there for a reason too.
Yes, sir.
Just being kumbaya around the campfire all the time is a Matthew 23 snake, viper, blind guide that, if it feels good, it's great, do whatever, you'll always be forgiven and everybody gets in heaven. Well, not necessarily so.
No. I believe that relationship defines the difference between what people call organized religion. That has never helped anybody. I've been around a while now in ministry, actually, for over 20-some years, and I've seen some bad stuff happen in the name of religion. And I'm concerned that the Christ that a lot of people are preaching now has more to do with their own brand, people's own brand of what they want Christ to be like. opposed to who he really is. And he will accept you as you are, but he won't leave you the way you are. And so, but you have a lot of role to play in that, of course.
Right.
But the grace of God supersedes any religion. And I'm grateful to know that his grace goes beyond. Just to be honest with you, if I call you Joseph,
yeah,
I had a very, very strong drug habit. We keep PG-13, but my nickname used to be Scarface. If you know what I mean. And yeah, and so it took more than religion to get my life together. It was a grace from a real Jesus that understood real issues, to touch my life that I had real problems. And so religion don't help, but relationship with Christ does.
Yeah, and we're all given free will. We have our choices, and God will accept us, but wants better of us and from us. And we are to want to be better, right? Two songs I quote and go into in the book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem. We are to want to be better. We want,
yes,
you shall be known by your fruits. What are you sowing that we're reaping? Can you, as Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror and ask him to change his ways and be better, want to be better, not just coast through life? Rick Springfield, I often quote his Karma song, which is kind of his version of Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, where it says, every bit of love I give to another, you know what I believe? It comes back to me, right? Yes. And you don't have to be Christian or of any faith to understand that karma concept. You surround with good, you try to put good out. That's if you constantly negative and spiteful and hateful, you're surprised that's what comes back to you? That's just kind of the way this fallen world works.
You mentioned our church name. It really inspired me. The No Limits Nations Church. It's inspired from that very same concept that there is no limits to what God can do in your life. If you just say yes, He doesn't require that you dot every T and cross. I say the Bible. He doesn't cause you dot every I and cross every T. But what He desires is just your heart, and then He will. And then if you give your heart to Him, then He will do the rest. And there is no limits to what can happen in your life. I am proof positive, because you're talking about looking at a gentleman that I'll get paid Friday and sniff my whole checkup, and it'll be gone. And what a miserable life. And you can't get free from that just by, like you're saying kumbaya. It ain't going to happen. It takes a real encounter with the living Christ to be free from that. And I'm grateful. And thus, my wife and I was inspired to name our church that, because there's no limits to what God can do in one's life. And as you say, if you sow that type of desire, you can reap that type of benefit.
Yeah. Our job to try to sow good, it's like changing. I had a conversation with another guest about remembering our role. We can't force. We're all given free will. They have to want to come to Christ in their own free will. Yes. Holding a gun to their head isn't a legitimate conversion.
Yes.
But yes. Islamic radicals think that is their way. But but my point being, there's a lot of people trying in a way to put limits on God with just the kumbaya parts. That guy is going to leave the church for his own humanist club to make him feel better. He's not teaching all of Christ, and he's trying to put Jesus in a box, limits on him.
You can't superimpose how can I say this? Your own desire of how you want Christ to be. And when you talk about free will, I tell you this way. It's kind of like a person going to someone and say, I'm gonna pull a gun on you and say, you want to marry me or else I'm gonna blow your head off. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to get married by force. Hopefully there's some love involved. Okay. Hopefully, and then the marriage will become, it's designed. And this is why now I know why Paul used marriage as a backdrop to describe how Christ loved the church, because it is a union, but like you said, between two hearts willingly to submit themselves to Christ. And out of that union comes a change of life. I think people, Joseph, are trying to serve God with their own willpower. Your willpower is not strong enough. You need something more than that. I know I do. It's like the guy that said, I love chocolate chip cookies. Is in front of me. I'm not gonna bother with it. Yeah, okay. The cookies are gonna be gone in the next 5 minutes. You're trying to use your willpower to get it done, and it's not going to happen. I didn't use willpower to get free from a cocaine habit. It was an encounter.
I think it's part of the equation, right?
Yeah.
Again, the free will and indeed some willpower to want to change. But as you said, you needed help, especially from upstairs, to supplement and bolster your will and willpower. Right? Lord, give me strength. Right?
And that's the part that's the part you bring up. That's the part that you will to do. Lord, I have a desire for this. That's the part I will. Lord, I want this. It's not like I'm not playing games. Lord, if you don't help me, I'm telling you that's not going to work. I need you. And sometimes, people, I hate to say this, it's not God's will. People have to come to the end of their rope to understand that you need more than just your own human effort. And sometimes when we put our own human effort before the Lord, it's like, why did Christ die for? Why would he die on Calvary if we could do it all ourselves? By now, the whole thing be wrapped up. By then, we all be in heaven, but it's just not the case, but you bring up a good point that one would have to desire this so that it can be an exchange, if you will. Lord, here's my heart, here's my will, and I receive what you have for me. And out of that union comes a new life that only God can give.
Yeah, and we are to even love our enemies. There's of course, various kinds of love that's laid out in the Bible.
Yes.
And I joke in the book of Kennedy Project Carpe Diem, some people make it so difficult to want to or be able to love them. Sometimes from afar is better, right? I love you to death. Like with my in a divorce, you may still love the other person, but I can't be under the same roof with you anymore, kind of thing, right? The love is so hopeful it didn't give in and turn over to hate. But loving someone doesn't mean necessarily being able to live with someone. And as I joke too, right? The serenity prayer, dear Lord, give me the peace and tranquility to not smack the crap out of this idiot that deserves it.
Yeah. Well, love also gives you wisdom, some things are not just not good together, if you cross that battery post the wrong way, you can blow something up, and after a while you realize that I say this all the time at our church, say you will become bankrupt if you have friends that all they do is just take and never give back to you. I'm referring to your emotions. If you pour into them and all is just give me, you're gonna become emotionally bankrupt. That relationship is not going to go anywhere. Now, you don't give to get, but it should be a mutual thing where I pour into you, you pour into me. I should be the one always giving, because love requires that both give. And it's a joy to do that. Now, some people are just selfish.
Yeah.
I found out I can love them from afar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, I would kill myself trying to love somebody who don't want to receive it that way.
Relationships require work. We're not just necessarily talking marriage here, right? A husband and a wife aren't always going to agree on everything, and there has to be occasionally some give or take, or the agree to disagree and just not go there again on that thing. But even just general friendships, as you're alluding, it requires work. It requires some give and take, because the whole soulmate thing bothers me at times. That compatibility, again, if you think there's this magic person that you're going to agree with all the time, that's just, not really a realistic expectation. Even identical twins, they may look alike, but their brains, nature and nourish and totally nurture can think differently. Yes.
Right. In our church every third Sunday, my wife and I do something called Relationship Sunday. We teach together side by side, not only on marriage, but all aspects of relationships, friendship, marriage, all of that. And we talk a lot about the things we're talking about right now, about the importance of having healthy relationships and learning how to respect yourself the way God has. God wants you to see yourself the way He sees you, and so you don't discredit yourself or dishonor yourself by allowing other people to destroy you or to walk all over you. You should be able to. It's a way to love. Well, here it is: the cross. You have a vertical beam and a horizontal beam. The vertical beam, the horizontal beam is from God to us. Horizontal is from us to each other. So we endeavor to take the love from the vertical and use it horizontally toward each other. And doing the horizontal love thing, sometimes you're going to encounter people who don't want to fit in that. They want to just superimpose their ways on you, and you can still love them. But sometimes, as you said earlier, sometimes it's not always healthy for you emotionally to just pour your time into them. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. And then Satan has a way of condemning you because you're trying to use wisdom. You know what I mean? But,
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every life is a story. Some just end too soon. Ryan's life unfolds through words on paper, dreams of youth, love discovered, and the challenges of growing up. He found purpose in love, joy in family, and meaning in every small moment. But even the strongest hearts can break, and sometimes life takes unexpected turns. Through laughter and loss, Ryan leaves behind something greater than memories, a lasting legacy. A short story, A Lasting Legacy, by Joseph M. Leonard. A moving reflection on life, love, and the stories we leave behind. Available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardcover editions. By Joseph M. Leonard.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned abuse, and I talk about that all the time. Turn the other cheek, loving even your neighbor, forgiveness and grace isn't open-ended into infinity, right? People are entitled. Bad things happen to good people at times. Good people can have bad days. We're all entitled. We're human. We're frail. We're flawed. Turn the other cheek means, Martin Luther King Jr. even, content of character. Maybe somebody, that's not really their character. They have a bad day. So you're not to judge on that cover or that one appearance. And yes, you turn the other cheek. But as you said, it doesn't mean contextually with the rest of the Bible, including 12 scriptures that tell us we are to judge ourselves and others biblically, not hypocritically. But it doesn't mean Jesus didn't say always allow yourself to be abused. If someone shows their free will to always choose evil, then you need to then treat them as the evil force they are, not continually give in. And the old Edmund Burke quote, only thing necessary, evil prevail, good peoples do nothing. If you're going to keep letting evil get away with things, that's not the spirit of turn the other cheek and forgiveness and grace God is referring to when you look at the whole Bible in context.
Well said. Well said. You know, Jesus didn't play. Jesus said, don't cast your pearls before swine. Okay, so he laid it out real strongly. You know, he didn't play around like I would. He would say, if you go to that house, if they receive you, leave your blessing. If they don't, leave and take your blessing with you. You know, he would just. Then in one scene, he beat the people out the temple because they was making merchandise of the house of God. So Jesus didn't play. There's a time for everything under the sun. There's a time to be strong. There's a time to be thorough. A time to be pleasant. And you know, and here's my thing: as you grow in grace, you learn how to discern between the times to act to function in those ways. You'll find out you discern between the time to be thorough and the time to be patient.
Yeah,
and sometimes you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely, and a part of the Kumbaya Jesus crowd, right? They don't want to talk about the overturning of the tables. Jesus, hubris is a sin, and it's a problem. Jesus never said anger is a sin. No. Jesus himself experienced it and did what he did. So what we do with our anger as a natural human emotion and condition is what matters. Do you channel that anger into doing things that make things better, or do you get violent? Do you, right?
It's you know, and that is the inspiration that we need. You know, sometimes, like I said, anger can become a good catalyst. You know, especially when you see, for example, this may sound very far fetched, but I've been through a lot physically. I just went through extreme. Well, I had renal failure for a long time. My kidneys completely shut down, boy. I had renal failure, last stage. I also had prostate cancer at the same time, and I went through surgery at the same time. And the doctors wrote me off. They said, "Well, you know, if you get a kidney, you know, there's a hope for you." You know, and I went through a months of 4.5 hours dialysis. This No Limits God that we talked about delivered me from all of that. I say the night before you, as a living miracle, no kidney failure, no prostate cancer, new lease on life. And when I talk about anger, I'm talking about anger in reverse. Now I'm doing everything that was stolen from me in the beginning. I'm doing everything now that was lost, that I lost when I was with all that disease and sickness. Now I'm angry, but in a good way. So I'm going to take my new lease on life and do everything I'm called to do with my life, because God spared me. You know what I mean? So I've learned how to turn that anger into power now. And now I'm going to take this newfound life and do everything that heaven designed for me to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, it can be a great catalyst.
Yeah, you mentioned remission. For those viewing on the video, you could see, right, my bald head. No, I'm not a 1980s neo-Nazi, right? I didn't choose the hairdo when I went through chemo chemo for leukemia in 2010. It came out, and I decided, oh, I'll just keep it shaved now. And I saved a ton of money on shampoo and conditioner. Uh-oh, where'd you go? You look like your camera toggled off somehow. And the other, right, normal emotions, as long as we can hear each other, I think we're okay. But emotion, right? Like Star Trek 5, I think it was, Spock's long lost half brother we knew nothing about. Let me take your pain, and Kirk saying, no, I need that. That's what makes me who I am, right? Our experiences, good and bad, that anger as well as the love and the pain as well as the joy, make us who we are today and hopefully make us a better person. Like people who have been bullied, there's that example. Well, I don't want to be like that person. I don't want to do to others what that person did to me. That bullying may not have been fun, but it made you a better person today in a way. Yes?
Yes. And I am, let me see. I do apologize, Joseph. I don't know what happened to my camera, but it's just kind of strange. But I really can what you just said resonates strongly with me, and I think it's a very, very powerful thing. And God bless you, sir. You came through that situation, and besides, you look good with a bald head, man. You look pretty cool with a bald head.
Well, a fairly proportional head for it. Yeah, not too many divots up there and whatnot. So
yeah.
Indeed. So there you're back. You're back now. Okay.
We're twins, actually. We're bald twins tonight. So
yeah. It's the old Dan Fogelberg and Tim Wise album title goes, Twin Sons of Different Mothers, right?
That's right. Well, I shave every morning. I mean, I don't know what the obsession is about hair, man. I enjoy. To me, it's time management. You shave your head, get in the shower, and you out of there. No primping.
Yeah.
Again,
save ton of money on shampoo and conditioner. Time not having to blow dry hair. All that management out the window. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Exactly. Yes, it does make it so much easier. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap us up anyway. I try to keep my shows 30 minutes or less. So, get too long, people don't tune in, right? The TikTok and Twitter attention span, I call it these days, right?
I understand.
Just give me the headline or the soundbite. Well, details matter.
Of course.
Right? So is there a website for folks to reach out to you?
Well, I have you can look at I have a website for my books called Dominion Publications. I have 3 books on that website, Dominion Publications. Also, you can look at my Facebook page, which is at Bishop Matthews 50. You can look on and Facebook and see all things we're doing. So those are the 2 places you can check me out at. I also can on KPTV every Wednesday at 5:30 for a broadcast. So yes.
All right. Is Dominion as in the dominion of the kingdom of God, not the voting machine company?
No.
Yeah. And publications, is that .com or?
Yes, DominionPublications.com. Also, CMC Matthews 54 at gmail.com is another place you can reach out to me for different things, for appointments, things of that nature. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, can't pass on the puns. One just came to me. So it's great. No limits church. Hopefully a cop doesn't catch you because there are speed limits normally.
Right.
You can take your church out on the Autobahn, but not the local streets around here.
Absolutely.
I can, no matter how lame the pun is, I can't help myself but to go there.
I understand.
Oh, So thank you, Charles Matthews, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. God bless.
Thank you, sir. All right. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist Podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.
Stand up for what is right. Loves God and shares his message every day and night. Believes in freedom and making his voice heard. Shared his message over all the earth. God loves you, Joseph, for all you do. Stand strong and God bless you.